In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a calculator. And again, we're going to start here at the home page. We've logged in the back office. We're going to pull down that menu, and we're going to create a calculator for a continuous function. And we're back here at this page that I showed you in the previous video. And now what we're going to do is, so we're going to create a new calculator. So we're just going to click this button, and we're going to call it our first calculator. We're going to hit save. And so it assumes that the one we saved is the one we want to start working on. And so we're going to enter our formulas here. Now, one thing you do have to keep in mind, which I mentioned in the previous video, is you can't declare formulas like this. We say A plus B equals C. You got to do it kind of backwards and put the dependent variable on the left. So you're going to, all of your formulas are going to be like this. Okay. And so you can, there are lots of different functions you can use. You can use trig functions. If you want to use exponents, it's the caret with the number after it. And you want to say maybe 3 times b. So if we want that to be our function, we can. That's what we're going to say, that that's our function. But what we have to do is we have to then also tell it what the independent variables are, because it can't tell just from what we've typed in here what are the independent variables. We need to actually tell it. And so we're going to tell it that we have 2 variables, A and B. Those are our independent variables. So I'm going to say A is 1. I'm going to add another one, and B is going to be my second independent variable. And now I'm going to save the calculator. And when I do, watch what happens over here, because this hasn't been really, this part is going to reflect this calculator that we're about to save. So I hit save, and now over here it shows me what my variables, my independent variables are, and I can enter data in here, and it's going to solve for C. So if I say A is 2 and B is 3, well, 2 squared is going to give me 4, and 3 times 3 is 9, so it ought to give me 13. And there it is, 13. And something else that's kind of neat, which I alluded to in the previous video with the math calculator, is that you can actually have more than one equation in a calculator. So if I want to say D equals C plus 1, I can do that. I need to save the calculator again so that it picks up my changes. And what it's going to do is it will solve for C and D, and my independent variables are the same because I didn't add any independent variables. So my independent variables are still A and B. But if I do 2 here and 3 here, it's going to solve for C and D, which is pretty slick. And again, stack up as many equations as you want, as long as you reference, as long as any variables that you reference are either defined here as independent variables, or in the case of C, it needs to be defined in an equation prior to where it's being used. So if I were to put this down here, that's not valid. That's not going to work. So we need to put this like that, and that's a valid calculator.